The restaurant buzzed with laughter and clinking glasses that night. At a corner table, Lena, a young woman in a wheelchair, nervously adjusted her simple blue dress. Her friends had convinced her to go on a blind date, promising the man was perfect for her. What Lena didn't know was that it was all a cruel prank. They never expected her to actually show up. She sat waiting, her hands trembling slightly as she checked the time again. Minutes turned into an hour. Her smile began to fade and the realization sank in. No one was coming. People at nearby tables whispered, and a few giggled quietly, pitying or mocking her. Her throat tightened, but she forced herself not to cry. Then, the restaurant doors opened. A tall man in a gray suit entered, looking slightly lost. He carried a small box of chocolates and scanned the room. When his eyes landed on her, he hesitated, then smiled warmly. "Lena?" he asked softly. She blinked, surprised. "Yes, that's me." He smiled again, pulling out the chair across from her before realizing she didn't need one. Embarrassed, he placed it back and sat down beside her instead. "I'm Ethan, by the way," he said. "Sorry I'm late. My son's school called in, single dad problems." Lena's eyes widened slightly. She wasn't sure what to believe. You're my blind date?" He chuckled lightly. "I guess so. A friend told me I should try meeting someone kind for once. I didn't know tonight would lead me here." From the corner of her eye, Lena saw her so-called friends watching from another table, whispering and laughing. They clearly hadn't expected a man like him, a handsome CEO of a tech firm, known for his charm and success, to sit with her. Lena lowered her gaze. "You don't have to stay," she murmured. This was probably a mistake. Ethan's brow furrowed. "A mistake? Why would it be? I'm having dinner with a beautiful woman who looks like she deserves to be treated with respect." Her lips parted, eyes glistening. "You don't pity me?" "Pity?" he repeated softly. "No, Lena, my son uses a wheelchair too. He's the bravest person I know. Strength doesn't need legs. It comes from here." He touched his chest gently. Something inside her broke free, something heavy and painful she'd been carrying for years. Tears streamed down her cheeks, and for once, she didn't hide them. They talked for hours, about her art, his son, and how life changes when you stop seeing people through society's cruel filters. Ethan's laughter was warm, genuine, and every time he smiled, Lena felt seen, not for her chair, but for her soul. When the bill arrived, Ethan stood and walked behind her. Before she could move, he gently took her hand and said, "Would you do me the honor of joining me again next week? My son loves painting. Maybe you could teach him." Her heart fluttered. "I'd love to." As they left, the mockers at the nearby table fell silent, guilt written across their faces. One whispered, "Wasn't that the CEO?" Another muttered, "He's really with her?" But Ethan didn't hear them. He walked beside Lena, his hand resting lightly on her wheelchair handle. Outside, under the golden glow of the streetlights, he leaned closer and said, I think tonight might be the best blind date I've ever had." Lena laughed through tears. "Me too." Weeks later, photos of them painting with Ethan's son filled social media, not as gossip, but as inspiration. The story of the paralyzed woman and the single dad CEO spread across the internet, melting hearts everywhere. And for the first time in years, Lena believed in love again, pure, kind, and real.